Everyone knows that you really don't make pictures by yourself, and I accept this tonight on behalf of my friends, people that influenced my life, influenced this movie.
The weird thing was I had one that I was planning on doing.
My life is, volleyball, driving up and down when I'm home.
Hollywood's biggest stars spent decades hiding secret affairs, paying over $140 million in divorce settlements, and refusing to admit he had a son for 6 whole years? At 70 years old, Kevin Costner has finally opened up about what he really wants in love, and the woman he's chosen has shocked everyone who knows him. This isn't the fairy tale ending anyone saw coming, but it might just be the most honest love story Hollywood has ever seen. Kevin Costner wasn't born into the glitzy world of Hollywood. He came from a regular middle-class family in California, where his dad worked as an electrician and his mom helped people through the welfare system. What made his childhood really tough was that his family never stayed in one place. Because of his father's job, they moved constantly. By the time Kevin finished high school, he had been to more than 12 different schools. Imagine being the new kid over and over again, never getting the chance to make real friends or feel like you belong anywhere. This constant moving around made young Kevin feel lost and unsure of himself. But it also taught him something important about adapting to new situations. Years later, he would say that all that moving around gave him a deep longing for a real home, a place where he could finally put down roots. This desire for belonging would show up in many of his most famous movies, where characters are always searching for their place in the world. In high school, Kevin threw himself into sports. He played baseball, basketball, and football, hoping that maybe athletics would be his ticket to success. He was pretty good too, even playing alongside someone who would later become a major league pitcher. But Kevin had a problem. He was only 5 feet 2 inches tall when he graduated. Then disaster struck when he hurt his shoulder badly. That injury ended any dreams he had of becoming a professional athlete. Looking back, Kevin says those early morning practices and team workouts taught him discipline that would help him later as an actor and director. Even though his sports dreams were crushed, the love of competition and teamwork never left him. You can see this in movies like Field of Dreams, where baseball becomes almost magical. After high school, Kevin did what most people expected him to do. He went to college to study business. He joined a fraternity, played some intramural sports, and seemed like just another regular college guy. But Kevin had a secret. At night, while his friends were hanging out or studying, he was sneaking off to acting classes. He kept this hidden from everyone, even his college girlfriend Cindy Silva, who would later become his first wife. For years, Kevin attended acting classes 5 nights a week, but nobody knew. The only hint that he might be interested in performing was when he dressed up as Smokey the Bear for a charity event. Even his closest friends had no idea he wanted to be an actor. It was like he was living 2 completely different lives. In 1978, right after Kevin and Cindy got married, they went on their honeymoon to Mexico. On the plane ride back to California, something happened that would change Kevin's life forever. Sitting near them was the famous actor Richard Burton, who had bought out the seats around him for privacy. Kevin was nervous but decided he had to ask this legendary actor for advice. When Burton finished reading his book, Kevin walked over and introduced himself. Burton looked at him and said something simple but powerful. "You have green eyes. I have green eyes. I think you'll be fine." Later, as they were waiting for transportation, Burton's limousine pulled up. The actor rolled down his window and simply said, "Good luck." That moment gave Kevin the courage he needed. Kevin went home and quit his marketing job after just 30 days. He decided to give everything he had to acting. But those early years were incredibly hard. Kevin took any job he could find just to survive. He worked construction, drove trucks, and even worked on fishing boats. During the day, he went to auditions, and at night he continued taking acting classes. Most of the auditions led nowhere. He was rejected over and over again. What kept him going was his wife Cindy, who believed in him even when money was really tight. Those difficult years taught Kevin to be tough and humble, qualities that would serve him well throughout his career. His first movie role was in a low-budget film called Sizzle Beach, USA. He only made $1,800 for the whole movie, and he was so embarrassed by one of the scenes that years later, when he was famous, he tried to buy the rights to the film just so he could make sure no one ever saw it again. One of Kevin's biggest disappointments came in 1983, when he was cast in The Big Chill. He played Alex, the friend whose death brings all the other characters together. Kevin filmed several flashback scenes and thought this would be his big break. But when the movie came out, all of his scenes had been cut. The only thing left of his performance was a shot of his hands in a coffin. He was devastated. Other actors in the movie, like Glenn Close and Jeff Goldblum, were shocked that Kevin's entire part had been removed. This crushing disappointment made Evan question whether he should keep trying to be an actor. By the end of 1983, he was ready to give up completely. He started applying for regular business jobs, thinking it was time to be realistic about his future. But once again, Cindy stepped in. She told him to give acting just one more year. That 1 year made all the difference. In 1987, Kevin auditioned for the lead role in The Untouchables, competing against 200 other actors, including big names like Mel Gibson and Tom Cruise. The director originally wanted Don Johnson, but Kevin gave the best screen test and won the part. The Untouchables changed everything for Kevin. The movie made over $160 million worldwide, and Kevin earned his first $1 million paycheck. Working alongside Robert De Niro and Sean Connery was intimidating, but Connery became a mentor to Kevin. The older actor helped Kevin deal with sudden fame and gave him advice about surviving in Hollywood. Their friendship showed on screen, especially in the emotional hospital scene. Sean Connery won an Oscar for his role, and Kevin walked away with valuable experience and guidance. Just 3 years later, Kevin made the riskiest decision of his career. At 35 years old, he decided to direct, produce, and star in Dances with Wolves. Almost everyone in Hollywood thought he was crazy. Some studio executives even mocked the project, calling it Kevin's Gate, as a cruel joke about a famous box office disaster. The movie was shot in 27 remote locations in South Dakota, used real wild animals, and had long scenes spoken entirely in the Lakota Native American language. The script came from Kevin's unemployed friend Michael Blake, who had pitched the story to Kevin night after night until he finally agreed to read it. The pressure was enormous. Kevin even messed up the very first shot of the movie and considered keeping the mistake just to avoid the embarrassment of doing it over. But what happened next was incredible. Dances with Wolves wasn't just successful, it became a landmark in movie history. When the Academy Awards came around in 1991, Kevin's Western epic won 7 Oscars, including Best Director and Best Picture for Kevin himself. He was only the 6th person ever to win Best Director for their first time directing a movie. It was the first Western to win Best Picture since 1931, 60 years earlier. Kevin kept his winning streak going with Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves in 1991. Critics made fun of his English accent and said the movie felt flat, but audiences loved it. The film made over $25 million in its first weekend and went on to earn $390 million worldwide. The theme song by Bryan Adams became a huge hit and kept the movie popular for months. Then came The Bodyguard in 1992, where Kevin starred opposite Whitney Houston in her first acting role. The movie became the second biggest film of the year, making over $410 million globally. But it was the soundtrack that really made history. Whitney Houston's version of I Will Always Love You broke every record imaginable. The soundtrack album sold 831,000 copies in just its first week, and eventually sold over 45 million copies, making it the best-selling soundtrack of all time. By 1995, Kevin had reached the absolute peak of his power in Hollywood. He earned $50 million for Waterworld, a number that was almost unheard of at the time. But Kevin didn't just take the money and run. He invested $22 million of his own money into the movie and took control of almost every decision. He clashed with the director Kevin Reynolds and overruled the studio executives on many things. Sometimes Kevin even directed scenes himself. But all that control came with huge risks. Waterworld turned into a nightmare to make. The original budget of $100 million exploded to $175 million. A hurricane destroyed the floating set. The shoot was supposed to last 96 days, but went on for over 150 days. When director Kevin Reynolds couldn't handle the pressure anymore, he quit the project, leaving Kevin to finish the movie alone. Although Waterworld eventually made back its money through international sales and home video, the media treated it as a symbol of Hollywood arrogance. Kevin's reputation for demanding total control wasn't limited to just that one movie. On many film sets, he was known for rewriting scripts to make his own role bigger and better. Directors, writers, and other actors grew frustrated with his need to control everything. He would demand multiple takes until things were done exactly his way. The slide from the top wasn't immediate, but once it started, Kevin couldn't stop it. After Waterworld came Tin Cup in 1996, which made some money but didn't live up to expectations. Then came the real disaster, The Postman in 1997. Kevin directed it, produced it, starred in it, and helped write it. The movie cost $80 million to make, but only earned back $27 million. It didn't just fail at the box office. It became a laughingstock, winning multiple Razzie Awards for Worst Movie of the Year. Hollywood turned on Kevin fast and hard. In October 1995, his elite talent agency dropped him as a client. He had been earning up to $20 million per movie, but that didn't matter anymore. Studios were tired of Kevin demanding huge budgets and complete control, especially when the results were massive financial losses. In less than 3 years, Kevin went from being one of the most powerful stars in the world to someone the studios wanted nothing to do with. By the early 2000s, Kevin's career had hit rock bottom. Some of his movies weren't even being released in theaters in certain countries. They went straight to video instead. Dragonfly, despite costing $60 million to make, only earned $52 million and disappeared from theaters quickly. Kevin's name had become associated with failure rather than success. But Kevin refused to give up on his dream of making big Western epics like Dances with Wolves. The problem was that nobody wanted to give him money anymore. The studios didn't trust him. So for his passion project, Horizon: An American Saga, Kevin had to beg investors and eventually put $38 million of his own money into the film. He even mortgaged his Santa Barbara home just to finish the movie. While Kevin's career was falling apart, his personal life was also crumbling. In 2004, his divorce from Cindy Silva, his college sweetheart and wife of 16 years, cost him around $80 million. This massive financial hit came at exactly the wrong time, when he was already losing millions on his movies and struggling to find people willing to back his projects. The divorce settlement was reported to be one of the biggest in Hollywood history. But that wasn't Kevin's only family drama. In the mid-1990s, he had a secret relationship with Bridget Rooney, who came from the wealthy family that owned the Pittsburgh Steelers football team. When Bridget got pregnant, Kevin refused to acknowledge that the child was his. For 6 whole years, he denied being the father of the boy named Liam. Bridget stood her ground and insisted Kevin was the father. It took a paternity test to finally prove she was right. Only then did Kevin admit that Liam was his son. He set up a trust fund for the boy and visited occasionally, but he never brought Liam into his public life. The child was raised by Bridget and her husband, billionaire Bill Koch. This messy, very public fight damaged Kevin's clean-cut image and showed a side of him that fans had never seen before. During the 1990s, rumors swirled about Kevin having affairs with several of his co-stars, including Michelle Pfeiffer, Sean Young, and Joan Chen. Tabloid magazines even reported an affair with a married hula dancer. Kevin denied all of these stories, and none of his co-stars ever confirmed anything. But the whispers never completely went away and continued to hurt both his public image and his private life. By 2012, Kevin had been out of the spotlight for years. Instead of trying to make another big blockbuster movie, he made a surprising choice. He decided to try television for the first time in his career. He took a role as Devil Anse Hatfield in the History Channel's miniseries Hatfield's McCoys. The show aired on May 28, 2012, and shocked everyone by attracting 13.9 million viewers on its first night, making it the most-watched cable miniseries at that time. Critics loved Kevin's performance, and he won an Emmy, a Golden Globe, and a Screen Actors Guild Award. With just one project, Kevin had gone from being forgotten to leading a major television comeback. 2 years later, he chose another smart project, Draft Day, a sports drama about one intense 24-hour period during the NFL draft. The movie only made $29 million worldwide, but that wasn't the point. Kevin was slowly rebuilding trust with audiences rather than chasing big money. In 2016, Kevin joined Hidden Figures, but not as the main star. He played a supporting role as Al Harrison, the NASA boss overseeing the Space Task Group. The film focused on 3 African-American women whose mathematical skills helped send Americans into space. It made $236 million worldwide and received 3 Oscar nominations, including Best Picture. Most importantly for Kevin, it showed he was willing to step back and let others be the stars. That same year, Kevin returned to the Western genre with Hell or High Water. Again, he didn't take the lead role, but played a supporting character, letting the story unfold with quiet power. Audiences and critics loved the film, which earned 4 Oscar nominations, including Best Picture. Some people called it the best Western since True Grit. Kevin had returned to familiar territory, but he wasn't relying on old tricks. He had learned to adapt. Everything changed for Kevin in 2018 when he signed on to star in a new TV series called Yellowstone. He had never done regular television before and wasn't sure about the commitment. But Taylor Sheridan, the show's creator, offered him creative input and convinced him to take the role. Kevin played John Dutton, the head of a powerful ranching family fighting to keep their land. Yellowstone became more than just a hit. It became a cultural phenomenon. The show spawned multiple spin-offs and brought in millions of viewers every week. Kevin's salary grew from $500,000 per episode in the first season to $1.3 million per episode by season 5, making him one of the highest-paid actors on television. His contract also gave him significant creative control over his character. But success brought new problems. Kevin clashed with creator Taylor Sheridan over control of the story. As both actor and producer, Kevin wanted input on how his character John Dutton developed. He even had a clause in his contract saying that Dutton could only die in a morally acceptable way. Sheridan, who wrote every script himself, didn't want outside interference with his vision. The situation got worse in 2023, when Kevin was filming his passion project Horizon while still committed to Yellowstone. Arguments over filming schedules and contract terms grew heated. Kevin wanted $12 million for episodes that hadn't been aired yet and claimed that Paramount had changed the terms of his original deal. By 2024, court documents from his divorce revealed that Kevin was officially no longer under contract with Yellowstone. Kevin's second marriage also ended in dramatic fashion. In May 2023, his wife Christine Baumgartner filed for divorce after 18 years of marriage, setting off a messy legal battle over their 3 children and Kevin's fortune, which included a $145 million beachside property. Their prenuptial agreement said Christine had to move out of the house within 30 days of filing for divorce, but she refused to leave. The court sided with Kevin, and Christine was forced to move out. Her lawyers argued that she had been pressured to sign the prenup and didn't understand what it really meant. They tried to get the entire agreement thrown out, claiming it was unfair since it kept her away from Kevin's $400 million fortune. The biggest fight was over child support. Christine initially asked for $248,000 per month, arguing that it matched Kevin's monthly income. She later lowered her request, but Kevin offered much less. The court eventually ordered him to pay $129,755 per month, a number that shocked many people. By September 2023, they reached a settlement that ended months of stress and negative headlines, though the final amount was reduced to $63,209 per month. Just when things seemed to calm down, new rumors started about Kevin's love life. In December 2023, he was seen with singer Jewel at a charity event on Necker Island hosted by Richard Branson. They spent over a week at the event, leading to speculation about a possible romance. Both Kevin and Jewel denied dating, with Kevin later telling Howard Stern that they never had a romantic relationship. But the rumors didn't stop. Kevin's own children even asked him about Jewel, creating awkward moments in interviews where he had to explain their friendship. The media attention made it impossible for them to maintain a normal friendship without constant speculation about romance. As 2024 continued, paparazzi followed Kevin everywhere. A photo of him having drinks with Jennifer Lopez at a restaurant in Aspen turned into headlines about a new romance, even though other celebrities were present, and it clearly wasn't a date. Even normal business lunches in Los Angeles triggered new stories about mystery women who often turned out to be his assistant or other work colleagues. Kevin started laughing about the situation in interviews, talking about how obsessed people seemed to be with his dating life. He said it had become almost impossible to live normally without every interaction with a woman being turned into a potential love story. After his expensive and public divorce, every step he took was analyzed and reported in the media. Now, after 2 high-profile marriages and decades of rumors and scandals, Kevin says he's tired of the Hollywood dating scene. He's told close friends that he wants something simpler and more genuine. He wants to find someone who isn't in the entertainment business, someone who values privacy and authenticity over fame and publicity. Most of Kevin's social circle now includes people who aren't celebrities. He spends more time with his 7 children and avoids the Hollywood party scene where he used to be photographed with different women. Even though the media has tried to link him romantically with stars like Sandra Bullock and Jennifer Aniston, Kevin hasn't responded to these stories or played into the speculation. Kevin also has new rules for any future relationship. He's made it clear that any serious partnership would need to come with clear agreements, including a prenuptial agreement and complete respect for privacy. After losing over $140 million in 2 divorces, he's not willing to risk his financial security again without proper legal protection. But Kevin isn't closed off to love. He said that he's open to finding the right person, but only if it comes with peace and understanding rather than drama and publicity. At 70 years old, Kevin Costner has learned some hard lessons about love, money, and fame. He's been through secret affairs, paternity disputes, expensive divorces, and constant media scrutiny. What he wants now is something real and lasting, built on mutual respect and shared values rather than Hollywood glamour. He's looking for a partner who can appreciate the simple things in life, spending time with family, enjoying nature, and finding joy in everyday moments rather than red carpet events and magazine covers. After everything he's been through, from his rise to superstardom with Dances with Wolves and The Bodyguard, to his fall from grace with expensive flops, to his comeback with Yellowstone, to his messy personal scandals, Kevin Costner is still searching for genuine love. But this time, he's doing it on his own terms, with wisdom earned through decades of mistakes and hard-won experience. The man who once had Hollywood at his feet and could have any woman he wanted now knows that real happiness doesn't come from fame or fortune. It comes from finding someone who loves you for who you really are, not for your bank account or your movie star status. At 70, Kevin Costner might finally be ready for the kind of love story that doesn't need cameras or headlines, just two people who understand each other and want to build something meaningful together. Whether Kevin will find that special someone remains to be seen. But one thing is certain. After decades of living his personal life in the spotlight, dealing with affairs and divorces and custody battles, he's learned what really matters. And maybe, just maybe, that wisdom will help him find the love and peace that has eluded him for so long. What do you think about Kevin Costner's journey through love and heartbreak? Do you believe he'll finally find the happiness he's been searching for? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Kevin Costner's complicated love life, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss our latest celebrity stories and Hollywood updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.